We are alive. Yes, yes we are.
Alright, well don't worry, me and my marksman rifle are here.
Oh god, you and your fucking marksman rifle. Vertigo's playing ESO now too. I'm here for it. Let's see. Stuff is starting. Dude, my Twitch. And loading. Close out some tabs real quick. Oh hey, I can publicly dial in and listen to the call. Live webcast, go to investor.activision.com. I like it. Investor.activision.com. Investor relations. Alright. This is going to be a little bit awkward because I'm having to... One second. I'm in the process of making the account for my investor. Because the last thing I'm going to do right now is let Activision have my fucking email address. Like, they already have it, but I'm going to make them work to track it down. Someone want to tell them they're late for their call? What's up? Yeah, it's probably because of the AC. That, and I'm also running in the background. I have the webcast up. Yeah, I'm muted right now. Like, I'm just waiting on the earnings stuff to start up.
Oh, you have another hour.
No, you're good.
Because you said it's at 1:30, correct?
Yo, they did postpone it an hour. Yo!
Yeah, if I remember correctly, yesterday you said it's at 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's 12:30.
Well, originally the information I got was 3:30 Eastern was when it was starting up. And it's been pushed back an hour.
Yeah, because PST, it's only 12:30 right now.
Gotcha.
So they're just
I'm gonna mute their
terrible
shitty
with their
music
time
then.
zones.
Yeah, apparently they're just bad at everything. Yes, dude, they have everything up already, though. They have the earnings press release. Funny that they have the Q2 2020 transcript up, but nobody's even spoken yet. They also have the slide presentation.
Two long shot kills using an SMG. Fuck me. Nope, you gone forever. Never to be heard again.
Yeah, I'm muting myself real quick. Because I'm going through and I'm trying to say if I might put bot commands up for the links to all this since we have another hour. But I'm gonna have to look through and figure that out real quick. Hello friends joining us. Good day, greetings, hello, salutations. So, fun fact, the initial information that I got was that this call was going to be taking place at 3:30 Eastern. It looks like it's been bumped back to 4:30 Eastern. I'm not going to speculate or assume that it had anything to do with a whole bunch of people deciding they were going to get together to roast Activision during their call, but you know. Fun fact about that though, I am currently trying to get everything put together so that way you guys are able to view the things directly from the website. You can also go to investor.activision.com, or if you want to listen to the call, you can dial 866-777-2509 if you're in the US. If you're international, it is +1 412 317 5413. it is saying the views and opinions expressed herein are the views and opinions of the author and do not reflect those of NASDAQ Incorporated. I am looking over the deck slide right now that they have provided to the investors to kind of take a quick peek through this. And it looks like they do also have a press release statement, which I'm very, very excited to read. I will be linking all of those in the chat, and we are a little bit over an hour out from the official start time for this. And yeah, it actually works out because it gives people time to join in, kind of chat a little bit about what's going on. I will be giving some updates momentarily. Right now, I am joined by Solo and Koi in the party. Obviously, if you guys don't know Koi by now, I'm a little bit concerned because he's still waking up. I called him very excited, and I think he still wants to go back to sleep. But welcome to the Thunderdome. We've all been troopers on this. To everybody who has shown up to support the Squad for Equality movement, Activision Blizzard or better, ABK, thank you guys so much. I do want to bring awareness to a couple of things. Activision staff have created the Twitter account at @ABetterABK, as well as the hashtag #ABetterABK. That is where you can go to get direct from the source information if you want it directly from staff. Also, we do have a couple of people who are looking to get their account signal boosted right now because they're sharing survivor stories for those who, due to NDAs, arbitration, whatever the case may be, are not speaking up yet. Obviously, for those who do not know, Riot Games is being sued by the same group that is going after Activision Blizzard. This case has been going on since 2018, and originally they were going to be settling for a $10 million lawsuit for the harassment of their staff. I guess from what I was reading, again, I have to get some more information on this to make sure it's accurate, so keep in mind right now this may not be the most accurate information. This is only what I've seen so far. The courts did rule that because that case is in the discovery phase, arbitration and NDAs do not apply. Now, the cool thing about that is that precedent can also be used in the Activision Blizzard case for those employees and victims who may not be able to speak up because of legal repercussions that were put in place against them. As a result of that, Riot Games did back out of their settlement. There has been information leaked up to and including, and I will say trigger warning for those listening right now, you might want to mute me for like between 2 and 5 minutes while I say this because it's real fucking dark. A member of Riot Games staff actually drugging and raping another employee. So this isn't just something that's happening at Activision Blizzard, like I said before. Ubisoft employees have also joined in the fight. They are begging people not to let Ubisoft's behavior go unnoticed in the wake of the Activision Blizzard situation as well. And the whole goal here is to drive awareness for all of these industry professionals, not just one company over the other. If you are someone who decided to leave Activision Blizzard games because you don't agree with them, and are now playing League of Legends, Wild Rift, Rainbow Six Siege, Assassin's Creed, Valorant, there's a whole big long list. If you're playing those now, welcome to the party. Your company is now involved. This is the same thing that we brought up the first day when we mentioned like it didn't feel right to just run away from the issue versus tackling it head on, because usually, historically speaking, when something like this happens on such a large scale, it brings to light other experiences in the industry, and it's only a matter of time until other details emerge, especially with so many, I'm not going to say scandals, because scandal minimizes what's been done to these people. Obviously, we also got news earlier this morning, it's about 6 or 7 hours ago now, that good old boy Jab, J. Allen Brack, has officially announced he will be resigning from Activision Blizzard, going into this Q2 financials call. So, on top of that, Fran has, who is the Chief Communications Officer, if memory serves correct, been banning female employees who reached out, also banning anyone who is a supporter in these movements to raise awareness and sharing these victim stories with the general public. If you guys go on my Twitter, you can actually see, fun fact, Banned on Main, but not on alt. This is why we don't feed the trolls, ladies and gentlemen. Also, it looks like there was a very interesting scenario at this time. It seems to be the people who were experiencing outage issues. A good portion of those people experiencing the outage issues Raven Software mentioned yesterday for Warzone were, interestingly enough, people who were busy supporting the movement. Wild how that works. Not saying it's related, but interesting coincidence to know about. There was also something that was brought up in a separate Twitter thread discussion among some of the employees and as supporters about how it is very interesting that of all the people on the list who could be acting foolish, especially on the scale that their chief communications officer is acting, it's the woman, right? So, there was actually a really good thread about a whole theory. I believe it's called the glass cliff theory. I encourage all of you guys to take a look at that. It's actually pretty astonishing stuff. It talks about GM, their leadership, and how sometimes they will hire a woman into a position of power before a large crisis emerges, and essentially, for lack of better terms, kind of set her up, make her the scapegoat, but give her a golden parachute to carry on about her day. That actually perpetuates the same issues that have been existing forever, especially in technology industry. I'm not going to say that's exactly what's happening here at Blizzard. At this point, though, like, some of the shit I've seen coming from Blizzard, I don't know. Like, I would love to say, hey, I don't think they do that, but there's a new surprise every day. It's like roulette. Outside of that, I am going to be quiet. We are at 3:42 p.m. Eastern. Again, that meeting is going to start up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I am going to be kind of chatting with Koi, chatting with Ian, looking over these deck slides, kind of seeing what they've already posted up for us, and figuring out if I should get the bot command set up so you guys can just pop in, see that. If you are just now joining us for the first time and you're not familiar with what the Squad Up for Equality Act is, that is something that we here at the Thunderdome Squad did decide to do as a direct result of Activision Blizzard's actions challenging our pillars for our org. We stand against toxicity in gaming for women, we stand for mental health awareness, and we stand for equality and inclusion for people. That being said, obviously Activision Blizzard pretty much checked all those boxes. A woman actually ended her life because of how horribly she was treated there. And the stories just keep getting worse. There's no, like, saving face for them on this one. Those who do not know, good old boy Jab, the one who announced his resignation today, openly admitted in an email as soon as the stock prices started to drop that he had been involved in a lot of those investigations that seemingly didn't have any real resolution. Go figure. The initial response from Activision Blizzard, which came from Fran, the CCO, was that the claims were baseless and unfounded. I'm not gonna lie, with what I've heard in the level of detail, like, I understand there might be some people who look at it as, like, okay, well, maybe this person's trying to get their 5 minutes of fame. There's no human if, you know, you had like one or two people and nobody else, but Warzone in our first 120 days as an org, being a woman's owned org, we felt we have a responsibility to do something. So the big thing that we came up with was, like, we don't want to exclude anybody or demonize anybody for their choices. Some people want to play, some people want to install, some people felt like these are the things that they turn to. This is where they have memories, like, this is a positive for them. So the solution was, let's hit them where it hurts. Let's hit them in the wallet. Because in Q1 of 2021, more than 2/3 of Activision Blizzard's revenue came from microtransactions and subscriptions. For example, they had, when we first announced this, just dropped the, I don't even remember what the name of the bundle was, but it was $20 bundle with the shiny black skin with the aviators and the sweet leather jacket. And the point I made to people here was, like, even if 10 people don't buy that, that's $200 that they're out of. On top of that, if you keep playing, they still have to pay for server maintenance. They still have to have the employees who maintain those servers, because that's how business works. And if you're an investor, you're looking at, is this company profitable? Are they going to make me money in the long term? If a company's stock suddenly starts dropping because they're not getting in revenue and they're hemorrhaging money, that makes them a company I don't want to invest in, simply put. Because I'm going to be like, oh, well, this is a fucking black hole of financials. Like, why would I want to give them my money? A good example of that is GameStop before it became a meme stock, right? Like, their whole stock value, I think, like, was like $9 or $10, and then it jumped up into like hundreds, 200s, because people are like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it. And the meme stocks themselves demonstrated that retail traders are a huge impact to the stock of a company. Like, it happened with AMC, it happened with GameStop, it's happened with quite a few companies now. If you guys pay attention to stocks whatsoever, or even see news about it, or your friends talking about it. Taking all those factors into account, our suggestion was, well, let's cut off that more than 2/3 of revenue they got in Q1 2021. Let's not buy microtransactions. If our subscription's gonna lapse, YOLO. One of the latest things I suggested, actually, and I will say I don't play WoW, so I don't know if this is something that works, but I did suggest, like, perhaps making a group for all the WoW players where people can get together and share free trial time cards. Because I know there was a good chunk of time there where Final Fantasy XIV, you could stack your trial time cards. It wasn't one per account. Don't know if it's the same for Activision Blizzard, not going to pretend I do. I will ask for someone who's more experienced with WoW to give me the reference point on that one. But if it's possible, hell, even better, because there you go, you're still playing WoW, you're still hanging out with your guild, you're still enjoying Azeroth, you're still using their servers. You're not paying them for a subscription, though. There's been a lot of gratitude from Activision Blizzard employees and victims who are seeing what the gaming community is doing as a whole, that we are still representing their art, we are still cheering them on, we are elevating their voices, which is another big part of the Squad Up for Equality movement. It's not about you pushing for clout. It's not about you pushing for followers. It's about you taking your platforms that you have on social media and you have for streams and things like that, and giving them your space so they can speak to all the people who follow you. Because the more visibility their stories get, the more people can speak up in support of them. And if we make it so that these people are heard loud and clear, I mean, shit, in the last 5 days, I haven't done an Activision Blizzard stock price check today, but last I knew, stock had dropped between 8 and 12% in the past 5 days. We have Jab retiring, Activision Blizzard PR following me. From what I've heard, they're really good at putting a spin on things. I look forward to if someone decides to, you know, post up one of my tweets with a nice, happy Activision Blizzard positive spin. I hope you guys have a real good Photoshop artist, I will say that. Also come to light that they, in 2019, banned a professional Hearthstone player because his wife worked at Blizzard. She was laid off and blacklisted for no reason. The excuse they fell back on was that the NDA was not signed. We could be getting banned from COD as a retaliation. We could be getting blocked from the World Series as a retaliation. But hey, on day one I told you guys we were going to raise some hell. And at this point it's pretty much like, Let's keep it up. We're doing a great thing, and the more people we get involved, we can lead an industry-wide change as gamers, worldwide. Like, nothing has been done at this level, at this scale. There are people worldwide taking notice of this and sharing it with their friends, their family. The victims are getting to see outpourings of support. The one thing I will say to all of you, though, is if you're writing tickets into customer service to talk shit, you are a whole asshole. I said what I said, because the customer service employees who are getting those tickets are not the people who are the problem. The customer service employees are probably the people who are the victims. So not only are they still having to go to work because they have to make ends meet or this is a dream job for them, they're having to get your shit too because you're angry at the top. Having worked in customer service, I can tell y'all straight up, the odds of a senior leader seeing your contact without any of that, slim to none. You want to make a difference? How about you guys go email ATVI at WilmerHale? You know, the one that J. Allen Brack posted up. How about you call up Homegirl, who's the lawyer for that? Which, by the way, another fun fact, the Activision Blizzard employees have responded in a letter in regards to that, rejecting WilmerHale as the firm that will develop policies around equality and human rights, because we have confirmed that they are a union-busting firm. They are not there to represent the best interests of the employee, as I had previously mentioned suspicions of. They're pretty much there just to cover Activision's ass. So how about you guys, like, I don't know, go share those thoughts, and how about we don't swear or slander or act foolish? Like, this isn't like a fucking COD Modern Warfare 2 lobby, this is a serious issue, so let's act like adults. Like, take a minute. If you don't know how to write something in protest, ask. Hell, if you guys want to DM me and be like, hey, like, do you have a template I can use? Like, I will happily, if I have enough people asking for it, draw one up that you guys can send on this. Because cursing, swearing, insulting, threatening, all you're doing when you act like that is you're fucking up what everyone else is doing. If you're a content creator trying to clout chase and taking information from people who are reliable sources, converting it into your own words, and then proceeding to add misinformation on top of it, you're fucking it up for everybody. If you genuinely want help and you genuinely want support, hit people up. We're absolutely down to help support you. Because we're all in this together. Like, you can say, oh, well, I don't like that this company did this. Like, okay, that's cool, but what's going to happen when your daughter, your sister, your best friend, your wife, your girlfriend, aunt, cousin, you know. And let's expand it to pretty much any family member, because this was very clearly not just an attack on women. This was an attack on humanity as a whole with this behavior. What's going to happen when your family member, your friend, your loved one gets that dream job at that game company, and it's a nice, sweet little indie game company, and then the same shit happens to them? Not just the game companies are involved. Like, what happens if, you know, you have a family member in tech, telecom, retail? This is a way for us to say it's not okay. We gotta fucking do something about it, guys. It's that simple. That being said, it is now 3:55. I have been ranting for a hot minute. Koi probably fell back asleep. I'm just kidding, Koi. I love you. I'm going to go ahead and go mute for a second. So this is going to be a little bit of a quiet stream unless one of the boys talk. while I'm looking through stuff, and we're just gonna have a little bit of banter while we're still waiting on the Activision Blizzard shit to come live for us. If you guys do have any questions, please, 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 you can always go on Twitter. You can always go ahead and click the link down below, which will take you to a link tree, bring you into the Thunderdome Squad Discord. That is going to allow you guys so that you can step in, you can ask your questions, you can get the help. Everybody on the team is in support of the movement, and we're all backing this. We are not buying any microtransactions or subscriptions from Activision Blizzard. So long as this is going, we have also opted to align ourselves with the charity Black Girls Code, which is from the list of charities provided by the Activision Blizzard employees. Something tells me this is about to be one hell of a crazy day, guys. So buckle up, because I'm going to be trying to share information as it comes through as soon as I see it. I expect it to be pretty chaotic, especially with the news of J. Allen Brack stepping down today, but we're going to do what we can here. And again, thank you guys so much who are continuing to show up and support. You guys are amazing. Corey, are you still awake? Did you fall asleep?
Sleep sounds great. I'll see you later.
Get your ass back in here, boy. I'm kidding. Alright, I'm muting myself while I look through. Nice. Wow. So, Koi, you want to hear something interesting?
What?
So, their in-game net bookings, so that's their microtransactions and subs, Q2 calendar year 20, 1.3 billion. Up from 956 million in Q1. Their net loss right now is 580 million. Operating income is making up 38.8%, which is up from 34.2% as a loss. It looks like 30% loss, up from 28.2% loss for all the other shit like income tax and stuff. So, for those interested, This is actually the type of thing that tells you a lot about what's going on with the company. This is the deck slide for the presentation that's going to be popping up. This is what I'm looking through right now to kind of get a feel for what's going on. And, you know, how they're doing. This right here is their press release statement. Some more good old files. I'm dropping everything because you can Google it. Ah, yes, they even included their Q2 financial model. That's nice of them. Here, you guys can have that too. I'm good. How you doing, honey? Yeah? Ooh. Oof. Stop dying, bro. Fair. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn down the AC in a minute probably because of the buzzes and stuff. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm not so worried about our, oh, gotcha. I'm so quiet. I'm just reading through this and like low-key chuckling. This is great. Yeah, how'd that go? Just like busy or like gotta work on coordination? Gotcha. Ooh. Assault mine!
They spawn all over the map, just Salt Mine's one of the POIs that have the most red doors. Yeah, like Salt Mine has so many doors. I believe we had one game where we had 4 separate doors. Because there's
I also
this
just found...
Salt Mine circle, so we kept pushing. We dropped Salt Mine, left, pushed back, left again, pushed back, left again. There's even one time where we separated into separate doors and still regrouped back into Salt Mine.
I remember that. That was stupid. I'm so angry that I just saw what that TikTok was. Yeah. Ew. Gross. I mean, YOLO.
One of those, I focused on my kidney for a little bit. Now it's one of those that kind of just gradually going up, and I don't really care.
I love it. My friend just sent me a thing and it said, did you know that atoms never touch each other? And because we're made up of atoms, we've never touched anything in our life. So to answer your question, officer, no, I did not punch that kid. I still think the thing that's got me wheezing the most is, like, you know, the whole fact of the matter of, fucking, they dropped soap today. Assholes. Soap! Yay, gulag kills. Whee!
I'm always tired.
Who closes the door? We're a bunch of savages. I don't even, like, slowly open the door. I just bust in.
I do. Have you not followed me into some of the buildings I rush into? Yeah, I know for a fact that you've busted through some of the doors I've closed. Because I've gotten pretty good at closing the doors as I... Yeah, I gotten pretty good at that. Well, it's even more amusing because imagine the enemy team. All they hear is one door bust open and then immediately another door and then another door again. But there's only two doors in the building.
I mean, we already, like, talked to him this morning before we got off. What? Oh.
those are
No, you
later
can.
off
You
stream.
can before the 200 games, but like that's. We'll discuss that stuff off stream.
Yeah.
Like. I'm gonna sit and do something real quick too, Koi.
Oh. Send me an invite. Okay. Yeah, usually whenever I play with other people, I have them host because I'm used to playing with 100+ ping, but other people aren't. So it's one of those, when I send you an invite, it's usually like, hey, invite me. My download speed, I'm supposed to be getting like 400, but I only get like 250. Yeah. No, I'm not.
Wait, what?
I could actually get fiber if I decided to move to a more populated area of my town. Yeah, did we have a conversation about that before?
What time is it? It's 4:19. So I got 10 minutes before this starts. I'm gonna kind of just sit and exist. Activision's claiming COD Mobile is on track to generate $1 billion in revenue this year.
I mean, COD Mobile is actually really well made. I played it for a little bit, and it was actually pretty enjoyable. And full of microtransaction, because it's Call of Duty. Like every screen had a microtransaction on it. So it's one of those, I could see it making that much money if people aren't going with the protest.
Mm-hmm.
ASP and a Howler with no stock for the beginning weapons. Ooh. I'm vandalizing this poor house.
Well, Blizzard released a statement about their leadership change.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Starting today, J. Allen Brack will be stepping down as leader of the studio. Jen O'Neill and Mike Ibarra will co-lead Blizzard moving forward. Jen joined Blizzard in January as Executive Vice President of Development, where she's been providing senior development leadership and support to Diablo and Overwatch. Jen is the former head of Vicarious Visions, which is now part of Blizzard. After many years at Xbox, Mike joined the company in 2019 as the Executive VP and General Manager of Platform and Technology, where he's been overseeing the evolution of BattleNet and development services. Jen and Mike have more than 3 decades of gaming industry experience between them. Moving forward, they will share responsibilities over game development and company operations. Both leaders are deeply committed to our employees, to the work ahead to ensure Blizzard's safest, most welcoming workplace possible for women and people of any gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or background, to upholding and reinforcing our values, and to rebuilding your trust. With their many years of industry experience and deep commitment to integrity and inclusivity, Jen and Mike will lead Blizzard with care, compassion, and a dedication to excellence. You'll hear more from Jen and Mike soon. The following is a message from J. Allen Brack. I am confident that Jen O'Neill and Mike Ibarra will provide the leadership Blizzard needs to realize its full potential and will accelerate the pace of change. I anticipate they will do so with passion and enthusiasm, and that they can be trusted to lead with the highest levels of integrity and commitment to the components of our culture that make Blizzard so special. He's really good at copy-paste statements. Can we all just appreciate that for a minute? Finally, thank you all for being a part of the Blizzard community and for your passion and determination for safety and equality for all.
Yeah, he jumped out to go for you. Oh, come on. There he is. Yeah, he got the res. Okay, then that was a separate team then. So then they passed off leadership to 2 new people then?
Yeah, one's from Xbox, the other one is from a subsidiary. And they are going to co-lead, so there's going to be 2 people replacing him. Which, Mike Ibarra, I have to look, because, like, I don't necessarily... Like, I remember hearing about him, but I don't, like, remember him. Alright, we are 4 minutes out from the call. I am going to go ahead and get the AC turned down and get ready for this.
Might want to hit an ad break first, too.
Good idea. Alright, so with what Corey just said, I am going to roll a few minutes of ads so that pre-rolls are off when you guys join. If you don't mind watching for just a few minutes, it does support the stream and it's super helpful. And outside of that, yeah, we will be right back.
They jumped in and out very quickly here. There's people like up in that area. Every time I... Never mind, it's that person that's like permanently on the radar. You probably hear this stuff underneath, because if you come down here, look. This right here, this is a red door room. So you're probably hearing the TVs underneath. No, it's there. It's on the first floor next to the dining table. Yeah, it was right here. Huh. Well, it's not there now either. I was saying, huh, is because it's gone. Yeah, red doors have relatively specific locations they'll spawn, but they won't all spawn. It's just random selection. Oh, yeah, because it's a large POI, just like Salt Mine. You have a much better chance of finding them in here than smaller POI like TV station. Did you find one? Yeah, they're on a timer. This guy's near us. Yeah, pop me dead silence. Downed one. I downed one on the right. Tagged his armor.
Alrighty.
They're behind me. I'm a fucking idiot. They're right there. They didn't get the res. He's going for the res.
In this presentation are based on information available to the company as of the date of this presentation. And while we believe them to be true, they ultimately may prove to be incorrect.
At the cliff below.
Cause the
Right there.
company's actual future results and other future circumstances differ materially from those expressed in any forward-looking statement. These include the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic,
That'd be the res.
discussed in our SEC filings, including we will present both GAAP and non-GAAP financial measures during this call. We provide non-GAAP financial measures which exclude the impact of expenses related to stock-based compensation, the amortization of intangible assets and expenses.
Yo, activist stances for stock-based confrontation. That was just said in the financial call. I'm wheezing.
The associated tax benefits of these excluded items and significant discrete tax-related items, including amounts related to changes in tax laws, amounts related to the potential or final resolution of tax positions, and other unusual or unique tax-related items and activities. These non-GAAP measures are not intended to be considered in isolation from, as a substitute for, or superior to our GAAP results. We encourage investors to consider all measures before making an investment decision. Please refer to our earnings release, which is posted on www.activisionblizzard.com for a full GAAP to non-GAAP reconciliation and further explanation with respect to our non-GAAP measures. There's also an earnings presentation which you can access with the webcast and which will be posted to the website following the call. And now, I'd like to introduce our CEO, ABK.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you all for joining us today. I want to start by making clear to everyone that there is no place at our company where discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind will be tolerated. Nowhere. We so appreciate the current and former employees who have come forward in past and recent days with courage, and I want to reiterate the commitments we have made to you. Our work environment, everywhere we operate, will not permit discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment. We will be the company that sets the example for this in our industry. While we've taken many steps towards this objective already, today we are taking even more. Jennifer O'Neill and Mike Ibarra have been named the new co-leads of Blizzard. Jen has been with the company for 18 years. She's the former head of our studio Vicarious Visions and most recently had production and development oversight for our Diablo and Overwatch franchises. Mike has been in our industry for over 20 years, including in leadership roles within Microsoft's Xbox division and at Blizzard as general manager of Battle.net. I'm also pleased to have Alan Adam here today. As most of you know, Alan is one of the founders of Blizzard. After a 12-year hiatus, Alan returned to Blizzard to lead our new product and new IP incubation efforts. Each of these individuals brings vast industry experience and tremendous integrity to their roles. They are the very best examples of leadership with character and accountability. I'm confident this team will ensure that Blizzard provides the welcoming, comfortable, and safe workplace that is essential to foster creativity and inspiration. In addition, we'll continue to investigate each and every claim and complaint that we receive. When we learn of shortcomings, we will take decisive action. And to strengthen our capabilities in this area, we'll be adding additional staff and resources. People will be held accountable for their actions. That commitment means that we will not just terminate employees where appropriate, but will also terminate any manager or leader found to have impeded the integrity of our processes for evaluating claims and imposing appropriate consequences. Because our work cannot be successful without diverse voices, views, and talents, we made a commitment to consider diverse slates of candidates for all open positions, and will continue to add resources to ensure this occurs throughout the company. Over the past several years, we've made significant changes to address company culture, reflect more diversity within our leadership teams, and create environments conducive to reporting any type of misconduct. We've amplified internal programs that encourage employees to report violations. We've reinforced channels for employees to voice concerns in confidential and safe ways without any fear of retaliation. We're directing additional resources to our compliance and employee relations teams dedicated to investigating complaints. We pride ourselves on paying our employees competitively and fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We regularly review our compensation to ensure that we remain equitable in our approach. We take a variety of proactive steps to ensure that pay is driven by non-discriminatory factors such as performance, role, and expertise. And we conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including for all employees involved in the compensation process. Our workplace initiatives are crucial to our continued success, and our leadership in this effort is my priority. Our workplace safety also remains a priority, and as we consider our return to work initiatives, we remain focused on providing the very best health care for our employees and their families. You have my unwavering commitment that we will continue to focus on serving our players and delivering the sustainable growth that you've come to expect, and we will take all necessary actions to foster a culture that is supportive and welcoming for all of our employees. And we expect to be the very best example for other companies to emulate. Daniel will now review the highlights of our operations for the past quarter with you.
That's a
Thank you,
joke.
Bobby. I'd like to underscore the point that Bobby made regarding the company's commitment to ensuring the very best work environment. The leadership team and I will do our utmost to make sure that we're always improving and building the kind of inclusive workplace that is essential to enable creativity and professional growth for all employees. There will be no tolerance at our company for harassment or unequal treatment of any kind. Our continued strong performance is because of the effort of our incredibly talented people, and we will make certain the workplace facilitates the best possible.
This guy is absolutely reading from a script right now.
Culture and unwavering conviction to our values. Now turning to the second quarter. We exceeded our prior outlook, benefiting from strong execution by our creative and commercial team in delivering compelling experiences and in-game content to our deeply engaged community. Over the last 2 years, we have increased investment in our biggest opportunities, creating new ways for our communities to engage and investing in our franchises across platforms. This strategy has significantly expanded the financial scale of our 3 largest franchises, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush. And this work continued to deliver strong results in the second quarter, even as countries continue to reopen from lockdown due to the pandemic. Looking forward, we continue to transform our franchise portfolio through faster delivery of compelling premium content, more robust in-game operations, expanding to mobile, and accelerating new engagement models, including free-to-play and advertising. Now, I'll discuss our Q2 franchise and operational highlights across our business units. Starting with Activision, where 127 million monthly active users engaged in our content in the second quarter. Our commitment to delivering innovative, engaging experiences to our expanded Call of Duty ecosystem continued to deliver strong results. The franchise sustained reach, engagement, and player investment well above levels seen prior to our introduction of free-to-play experiences across console, PC, and mobile. Across the Call of Duty ecosystem, second quarter MAUs were consistent versus the year-ago quarter and over 3 times higher in Q2 of 2019. Hours played in the franchise in the second quarter were higher than for all of 2019. We continue to see robust engagement, even as regions continue to reopen. On console and PC, MAUs and time spent across Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare, and Warzone higher retention from Q1 to Q2 than our experiences in years leading up to the launch of Warzone. Conversion from Warzone again drove strong premium sales in Q2, at multiples of the level typically seen in second quarters prior to last year. In-game player investment remains strong, PC in-game net bookings, similar to that seen in the first quarter. While lower year over year against a quarter that benefited from the launch of Warzone and likely more people at home, in-game net bookings in the quarter were approximately 4 times the level of Q2 2019. Our teams remain hard at work on the next new premium Call of Duty release, planned for the fourth quarter. From a setting that our fans know and love, to an incredible amount of content in development, including an extensive live ops schedule, we believe this release will be incredibly well received. In addition to launching a great, seamless experience for both current and next-gen console players, we are focused on continuing to integrate Warzone and engage our direct relationship with our player base through even deeper content integration between the premium and free experiences, and substantial innovations coming within Warzone itself. Our teams cannot wait to unveil what they have been working on. Call of Duty Mobile net bookings grew double digits year over year and sequentially, driven by strong execution in seasonal content in the West and the recent launch of the game in China. Our team continues to enhance the game, building on learnings from player data and leveraging over 15 years of Call of Duty content to deliver increasingly compelling content and driving greater player investment over time. As we build on this momentum, we recently added new social gameplay to the title and have new modes, maps, and seasonal events planned for the second half of the year. Call of Duty Mobile is on track to exceed $1 billion in consumer spending for the year. And as we continue to optimize the title, we're also investing in mobile capabilities with a singular goal to create the best mobile experiences for our community. We have established a new internal mobile studio and are aggressively adding mobile resources across several teams, including DNOC and Activision Shanghai. Together, these teams are leading the development of an unannounced new mobile title within the Call of Duty universe that we expect will help take the franchise to new heights. Turning to Blizzard, we couldn't be more excited about the leadership changes. Jen and Mike are outstanding leaders, and we look forward to the impact they will have on the culture, accountability, and fostering the very best work environment. The launch of Burning Crusade Classic in June marked the start of what is intended to be a very significant 18-month period for content releases. Now with 26 million. In the Warcraft franchise, World of Warcraft net bookings again grew double digits year over year in the second quarter, driven by the well-received launch of Burning Crusade Classic in June. Subscriber numbers and hours played were up following the release, again showing the importance of Classic in enabling more ways for players to engage in WoW. The strength in Classic added to ongoing deep engagement in the modern game following the Q4 Shadowlands launch and launch of its first major content update in June. And as a result, WoW remains on track for much stronger engagement this year than is typical outside of a modern expansion year. Elsewhere in the Warcraft universe, Hearthstone's latest expansion, Forged in the Barrens, delivered expansion over expansion net bookings growth for a second consecutive release. And with the latest expansion, United in Stormwind, launched today, and Mercenaries, a new mode in the popular role-playing genre planned for the coming months, we expect Hearthstone's financial performance to strengthen in the second half of the year. Blizzard continues to make progress in its work on ambitious new Warcraft mobile experiences that can attract entirely new players to the franchise, as well as offering new ways for existing fans to engage. 2 Warcraft mobile experiences are in varying stages of internal testing, with the team looking forward to sharing more about these titles soon. Now, turning to Diablo, we have added hundreds of developers to the franchise over the last 3 years, and we continue to grow our teams as we prepare to launch 3 unique and complementary experiences across platforms. Diablo 2 Resurrected will launch on PC and console on September 23rd. Anticipation for this remaster of the quintessential action role-playing game is high, and we can't wait for the community to experience the quality of the title. On mobile, Diablo Immortal continues to progress well through testing, receiving excellent feedback for its gameplay. We see substantial potential for this release, both in its own right as a long-running authentic Diablo experience, and to broaden the franchise's reach ahead of Diablo 4. Recent testing revealed some exciting additional opportunities the team is going to pursue to make the title even more engaging for a wider audience. While that means the game is now planned for release in the first half of 2022, we believe these efforts will set the title up for an even greater contribution next year and beyond. And most importantly, Blizzard continues to make strong progress on Diablo 4. The game is shaping up incredibly well, and the team is allocating substantial resources to creating exciting content to drive engagement over multiple years. The expanded Overwatch team is similarly making strong progress on Overwatch 2, with development passing an important internal milestone in recent weeks. After a great response to the recent community update, the team is looking forward to reviewing more of the game in the coming months as they approach the later stages of production. At King, the team continues to execute extremely well, again delivering double-digit net bookings growth against a tough year-ago comparable. MAUs were 255 million. King continued to drive growth through its work to optimize mob operations, in-game economies, and user acquisition for its titles, particularly Candy Crush and Farm Heroes, its two largest franchises. The business saw ongoing year-over-year growth in franchise payers and investment per payer in the second quarter, with Candy Crush once again the highest grossing game franchise in the United States app stores. Building on successful initiatives to broaden its payer base over the last 2 years, the Candy Crush team has been accelerating the delivery of compelling seasonal content that delights our players and drives in-game investment. In the second quarter, King reached a monthly cadence for seasonal content within Candy Crush Saga, its biggest title. These seasonal events not only sustain strong engagement among existing players, but also drive re-engagement of lapsed players as well as attracting new players to the franchise. The Candy team is planning an innovative slate of seasonal events and live operations for the second half of the year, including tie-ins with brands that value the association with our premium network, positioning the franchise for ongoing momentum in its in-game business. King's advertising business is also delivering. Q2 advertising revenue grew sequentially and doubled year over year. King's ongoing initiatives to enhance the ad platform, work with more demand partners, and reach more categories of advertisers drove year-over-year growth in both volume and pricing, with broad-based strength across geographies. In summary, Q2 was another strong quarter. We are taking actions to address stakeholder concerns and the adverse consequences to our business. If we experience prolonged periods of adverse publicity, significantly reduced productivity, or other negative consequences related to this matter, our business likely would be adversely impacted. We are carefully monitoring all aspects of our business for any such impacts. From a pipeline perspective, we have strong lineup plans for the second half of the year. And as we look to 2022, our current plans contemplate compelling new experiences across Call of Duty, WoW, and Candy, alongside several major new titles across PC, console, and mobile from Blizzard, with the aim to deliver significant expansion in the reach and engagement of our portfolio. Above all, as we go forward, I want to reemphasize that the safety and well-being of our employees is of the utmost priority. Our teams are the source of all creativity and magic in our games. Now I will hand over to Armin, who will provide a detailed review of our financial results. Armin?
Thanks, Daniel. I want to reiterate that our priority is ensuring a workplace that provides opportunity for all in the most welcoming and inclusive way possible. Today, I'll review our second quarter results, as well as our outlook for the third quarter and full year 2021. Our second quarter results were ahead of our prior outlook, driven by both operational outperformance and some non-operating items. For the first half, we delivered double-digit year-over-year growth in net bookings and solid growth in operating income and EPS. We achieved new records for each, even as we continue to increase investment in the business and our development team to support our strong pipeline. As regions reopen, our business continues to operate at significantly greater scale than that seen prior to our successful growth initiatives across our largest franchise. Now, let me turn to our consolidated financial results. Unless indicated, I'll be referencing non-GAAP figures. Please refer to our earnings release for full GAAP to non-GAAP reconciliation. For the quarter, we generated Q2 GAAP revenues of $2.30 billion, $161 million above our May guidance. This includes the net recognition of deferrals of $375 million. Net bookings of $1.92 billion were $71 million above our May outlook. And we generated Q2 GAAP EPS of $1.12 and Q2 non-GAAP EPS of $1.20, which was 29 cents above our guidance. These figures include the net recognition of deferrals of 29 cents. Q2 EPS included a 7 cents benefit from a gain on an investment, most of which was unrealized. We also experienced a lower than anticipated tax rate in the quarter due to the timing of overseas tax reform, although our full year tax rate assumption is unchanged. Now, turning to cash flow and the balance sheet. Q2 operating cash flow was $388 million, lower year-over-year, reflecting operating results, working capital timing, and the timing of cash taxes. During the quarter, we paid an annual dividend of 47 cents per share, 15% higher year-over-year, for a total of $365 million. Our cash and investments at the end of June were approximately $9.6 billion, and we ended the quarter with a net cash position of approximately $6 billion. Now, let me turn to our segment results. Activision delivered another strong quarter, contributing to record first half segment revenue and operating income. Q2 revenue was $789 million. As expected, Call of Duty revenue on PC and consoles was lower year-over-year against last year's Q2 that benefited from the March 2020 launches of Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, as well as the introduction of Thunderdome Squad. However, Call of Duty Mobile grew strongly year-over-year. Q2 segment operating income was $363 million, with an operating margin of 46%. Blizzard revenue was $433 million, with double-digit year-over-year growth in World of Warcraft, offset by product timing for Hearthstone and lower Overwatch League revenues, as explained in prior quarters. Operating income was $141 million, with an operating margin of 33%, reflecting investment into product development against a rich content pipeline, as well as sales and marketing around the launch of Burning Crusade at quarter end. King revenue grew 15% year-over-year to $635 million. This is another new record, driven by double-digit in-game revenue growth for Candy Crush and Farm Heroes. Advertising revenue doubled year-over-year, and trailing four-quarter advertising revenue is now above $300 million for the first time. King operating margin was also strong at 39%, delivering record operating income at $248 million. Across our segments, strong execution in live operations and in-game content drove in-game net bookings to a combined $1.32 billion, broadly consistent with the level of the prior four quarters. At almost 70% of total net bookings this quarter, the in-game business represents a recurring base of profitability for the company with a significant opportunity for further growth in both existing and new franchise experiences. Finally, the second quarter saw strong double-digit year-over-year growth in mobile net bookings, which exceeded a $3 billion annualized run rate for the first time this quarter. The mobile platform delivered more than 40% of total net bookings and is a key strategic priority for us as we extend each of our key franchises to mobile in the coming years. Now let me turn to our outlook for the third quarter and the full year. With regard to our slate, our expanded teams are focused on delivering epic in-game and upfront content. In the third quarter, Activision's fifth season of content for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Warzone launches later this month, and the team will continue to release significant new features, events, and seasons for Call of Duty Mobile. Today, Blizzard released Hearthstone's latest expansion, edition, United in Stormwind. Diablo 2 Resurrected will launch on September 23rd. And King will support Candy Crush and other games across its portfolio with numerous seasonal events, features, and innovative live operations. In the fourth quarter, in addition to ongoing live ops and in-game content across the portfolio, we're looking forward to Activision launching new Call of Duty premium content alongside major new in-game experiences for Warzone. These are the most important releases of the year for us, and we can't wait to show the community what our teams have been working on. In the second half, we will also continue to refine and test new mobile content in our pipeline, including for both Warcraft and Diablo. Consistent with our prior outlook, we don't include material revenue from new mobile titles in our guidance for the current year. Now, before I discuss the specifics of our outlook, let me provide some context. We are taking substantial action to address the concerns of employees and other key stakeholders. While there are risks that our business could be adversely impacted, as Dana discussed, currently our business performance is strong. In the third quarter, we expect ongoing robust performance for Call of Duty, Candy, and World of Warcraft to be complemented by the launch of Diablo 2 Resurrected. While we are taking a prudent approach to our outlook, we do expect year-over-year net bookings growth in the third quarter. We will increase investment in the quarter in our product team, compliance, employee relations, sales and marketing to help unlock the full potential of our franchises heading into 2022. As we move into the fourth quarter, while we continue to invest in the business, we expect lower costs and growth in earnings year-over-year. Finally, as mentioned, we experienced an investment gain in the second quarter, which we are passing through in our outlook based on evaluation at the end of July. Bringing this all together, we are once again raising our outlook for net bookings, revenue, and EPS for the year. Now let me get into some specifics. For quarter 3 on a GAAP basis, we expect revenues of $1.97 billion, including the net recognition of deferrals of $120 million. We expect net bookings of $1.85 billion. We expect a GAAP operating margin of 35%, a tax rate of 22%, GAAP and non-GAAP share count of 785 million, and EPS of 60%. For quarter 3 on a non-GAAP basis, we expect a tax rate of 20% and non-GAAP EPS of 75%, including the net recognition of deferrals of 10%. Now, turning to the fiscal year, on a GAAP basis for 2021, we expect revenues of $8.52 billion, including net deferrals of $135 million. We now expect net bookings of $8.65 billion. We expect a GAAP operating margin of 37%, a GAAP tax rate of 21%, GAAP and non-GAAP share count of 785 million, and GAAP EPS of $3.08. For 2021 on a non-GAAP basis, we expect a tax rate of 20% and non-GAAP EPS of $3.54, including net deferrals of 22%. In closing, our business continued to perform well in the second quarter, delivering strong results. We will continue investing in our creative team and positioning our franchises for even greater reach and engagement in the future. With our current plans continuing to support growth in our financial performance in 2022. Look, as Bobby and Dana made it clear, we understand that our people are our greatest asset. These are the people responsible for continued strong performance. We couldn't be more committed to ensuring an inclusive work environment for all our employees, as well as for long-term sustainable growth. We'll be working with our team to improve our company together to become the most inspiring and inclusive entertainment company possible. Now I'll ask Rob, Jen, Mike, and Alan to join Bobby, Dan, and myself to answer your questions. Operator?
We will now begin the question and answer session.
Oh God, they're beginning the question and answer session. Here we go, guys.
Telephone keypad. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. To withdraw your question, please press star then 2. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. Our first question comes from Matthew Cost with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi everyone. Thanks for taking the question. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of headlines about the lawsuit and employee concerns. Can you talk more about what you've been doing and will do to address those issues? And then just secondly, can you expand on any expected impact to productivity as you work through the situation, and do you expect any impact on the pipeline? Thanks.
I'll take this question, and thank you for the thoughtful question. This is Daniel. As you heard from Bobby, our employees are truly our greatest asset, and we remain absolutely focused as a leadership team on providing a diverse and a safe environment for our teams, and have taken a number of actions thus far. For instance, we've engaged an outside law firm to conduct a review of our policies and procedures.
Union busting law firm.
And where employees can connect if they have experienced any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
We will also be adding staff to our compliance and employee relations teams that investigate employee concerns. This is to ensure that we're always considering also diverse candidates for all open positions. As a Hispanic leader myself, I know how important having a diverse workforce can be.
Did he just say as a Hispanic leader myself, I understand how...
We will be evaluating and training also our people managers to make sure they are complying with our processes for handling employee concerns, as well as taking the right action. And we are proactively engaging with our employees to hear and respond to their feedback. For several years now, we have been focused on ensuring more diversity throughout the company, especially in our leadership roles, and have dramatically increased the number of women and minorities in both the C-suite and in our business unit.
So, two?
And our compensation practice is that women and men are paid equitably for equal work.
But you didn't even teach your employees about the Lilly Ledbetter Act.
And Mikey Barra as the new co-leads at Blizzard. And I am so glad that an original Blizzard founder, Alan Adams, who returned to the company a few years ago, continues to lead our game incubation projects. We have a great leadership bench at Blizzard and are excited about the new direction the company will take. Also, we are committed to an equitable and safe work environment. And that's what's important. As we evolve our company, you should expect further announcements from us going forward. Now, to answer your question on productivity and pipeline, as you heard today, the pipeline is progressing well. In particular, some of the content in the pipeline has been in development for many years, and it is approaching the final stages of production. We're monitoring the impact of recent events, obviously, as we discussed today. Based on what we see currently, we have a strong lineup planned for the second half of the year. And as we look into 2022, we're currently planning for several new titles across PC, console, and mobile from Blizzard, alongside more great experiences from Call of Duty, Candy, and Warcraft. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Matt. Operator, can we have the next question, please?
The next question is from Mike Hickey with the Benchmark Company. Please go ahead.
Hey, Bobby and team. Nice quarter, guys, and guide. Curious what you're seeing on the global reopening or recovery. What sort of player engagement trends that you're seeing, and how you're thinking about, or how you've shaped your guidance around key performance regions that are reopening. Thank you.
Wow. All right.
Hi, this is Amin. Generally speaking, what we see are different trends across franchises and games, and these trends can vary across platforms, gameplay types, and numerous other factors.
I don't know who that man is, but I could hug him right now because he just called a very pointed question out to them.
We actually saw minimal variation. We did see some variations. They were small relative to the structural growth we have seen on the business in the last year or two. What's really key is that when we look at the data, we see that products and other initiatives are the bigger determinant of reach and engagement. So
So I am going to talk over these guys for 1 second to say the statistics that they released in their financial report are completely contradicting what is being said right now. In fact, it does show a trend that's reflected across gaming as a whole, tech industry, so on and so forth, including telecom and other industries. Due to the pandemic and the shutdown, there was an increase in user base, increase in monetization opportunities. Activision Blizzard is no exception in this, so keep a mental note of that and the question that was asked, as well as essentially the backtrack that they are trying to give now and saying there was no variance, everything was stable, everything was the same exact position as it always has been.
And continue to have momentum, evidence the quarter 2 results, as well as trends into July. Now, as it relates to guidance, we are always thoughtful and careful in our approach. We assume lockdown cases continue to moderate in the third quarter, and of course we are monitoring any impact of recent trends as discussed. But as you've heard, we still expect year-over-year growth in net bookings as these initiatives continue to deliver results. And
essentially what they're saying is because they have released Call of Duty Mobile in China, as well as they have a 18-month plan across net booking, which is in English microtransactions, they have a plan in place, and what that plan is going to do is ensure that they essentially double their profit this year via microtransactions and subscriptions across Candy Crush, Call of Duty Mobile, World of Warcraft, and Warzone.
As you know, we already operate successfully today across many of these growth vectors. So we are very well positioned to continue to grow in this macro environment. Next, we believe growth is largely in our own hands and our talented employees and teams. Thanks again for your question, Mike.
Operator, can we have the next question, please?
And the next question is from Andrew Urquhart with Jefferies. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This question, I guess, is really focused on what's happening at Blizzard. It's great to hear kind of the color around the policies and procedures and creating safe workplaces and whatnot. However, I'm sure morale is low, and so I'm just curious how Mike and Jen plan to kind of rekindle the pride that Blizzard has been known for, and kind of just rebuild that morale, but also kind of at the same time, as you kind of listen to everyone's stories and experiences and make the necessary changes, how does that not affect production going forward? Thank you.
Thanks for the question, Andrew. This is Jen. First off, there's nothing more important to me than our people, and I know Mike Ibarra, who is partnering with me to lead Blizzard, feels exactly the same. Since I joined the studio at the beginning of the year, I've had the privilege of working closer with the Diablo and Overwatch teams. I'm seeing great progress on Overwatch 2 and the multiple games in the Diablo universe. I am constantly inspired by our talented teams, their creative vision, their commitment to putting gameplay first. Our people are passionate about our games. They understand our players, and in many cases, they have come from the player communities themselves and naturally are driven to serve them. And as Bobby and Daniel have mentioned, we are expanding these teams. We're doubling down on our development recruiting as we expand the scope and vision of our franchises. When we come together, we make some of the best games in the industry, and
she's not answering the question.
That energy applied to our culture, which is equally important. There's a lot of work ahead of us, but the passion and productivity are already here, and when our people feel safe and supported, the rest is going to take care of itself.
Andrew, this is Alan. I'm going to weigh in.
I didn't hear a single action item there of what they're going to do.
The passion that our developers have for innovation and
Besides
creativity is what makes Blizzard great. It's why we've been able to make so many great games for 30 years now. And this has always been the vision since the very beginning.
Oh, that's Mike Ibarra. I recognize that voice.
The things we're creating together, about building a new culture and renewing that spirit. We're tight-lipped about it, but our new game pipeline has been in development for many years, and it's greater than it's ever been across our core franchises and mobile, new IP, and new genres. I'm looking forward to our teams launching their already announced new games in the not-too-distant future, and in due course announcing a few new ones that you've yet to hear about. Thanks for your question.
There was no answer, Mike.
Yeah, thanks,
This
Andrew.
is the same thing that happened over at the last
The next
place,
question
Mike.
is from Matthew Thornton with Truist Securities. Please go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Maybe this one's for Rob. When we think about Call of Duty, I guess, how are you feeling about this year's release, just in terms of the title itself across multiplayer as well as campaign, but also the cadence and breadth of content to follow, and then just finally the competitive backdrop, given that it's a little bit of a busier year for kind of AAA releases.
Did anyone else notice that this guy who's talking right now is from the Internal Securities Department talking about COD?
Thanks for the question. And before I get to it, I just do want to throw in some of the overarching comments, which I think are important as it relates to Activision Publishing as well. Obviously there's no place for any harassment or discrimination whatsoever of any kind in society, in this industry, or in this company.
Yo, he definitely just misread the PR statement because he said emphasize and then in society.
It's really the only way we can begin to live up to the values we aspire to, and it's the only way we can become the company we aspire to be. That is first and foremost on our minds and our focus at the moment. Now, turning back to answer your question directly, we do feel really good about what Sledgehammer Games is leading for release in the fourth quarter of this year. The studio itself has never been bigger or stronger, now with its teams in Foster City and Melbourne and also now in Toronto. And across all modes of play, across multiplayer, across campaign, and across co-op, development is coming along really well, and we're going to be sharing those details with the community very soon. Content-wise, it's a really robust game at launch across all the modes, and the good news for us right now is we've gotten farther ahead on our live ops planning for supporting the community post-launch, and the community should also expect that support to be very, very significant. We've learned a lot over the last couple years, and that's all in our plans as we go forward. We also have really exciting new plans in Warzone, which Raven is leading. Now, together with our premium release, we've got some really fun and what I consider the most significant updates planned for the community across both Warzone and premium as we head into the fall.
So I want everyone to remember, premium means paid. Warzone payment mode.
Franchise for this year and for this fall and for beyond. They're doing incredible work together as a team and also as independent studios. And finally, touching on your question on competition, I think competition is really out there each and every year for us, and I think
Bro, Battlefield and Halo. All right, you're right. You guys compete with them every year. Got it.
Compelling new offerings have the potential to only grow the industry as we move forward. So our focus is really the same as it's been each and every year, and that's making sure we provide the most fun, the most incredible, and the most innovative experiences we can to our community as we go forward. And when we look at the breadth, depth, and quality of content our teams are delivering in Q4 across all our offerings, we do like our position a lot. But thanks for the question, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Operator, can we have the next question, please?
The next question is from Tyler Parker with KeyBanc Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Great, thanks for the question, guys. So, touching on King real quick, we saw 15% segment revenue growth and a doubling of the ad revenues in the quarter. So clearly still performing well here. I just would love to hear how the changes to Apple's ecosystem affected business in the recent months, both from a user acquisition perspective and an ad perspective, and I guess how you expect that trend going forward. Thanks.
Thanks, Tyler. This is Daniel. I'll take that on behalf of Huma. As you saw from our results, the IDFA changes really haven't had much of an impact on our business, and actually even less of an impact than we expected. So firstly, on the advertising side, we're still early in building this business, and we're just seeing great results as we grow both the supply and the demand. On the supply side, we've been introducing innovative new products and have started letting players watch more ads if they wish to, growing our ad inventory in a way that's really consistent with our focus of really not impacting the player experience, and that's worked out really well. On the demand side, we're working with more demand partners and more categories of advertisers, driving more volume and price competition, and this really has been very impactful. we're also working hard to maximize the consent rates following the IDFA changes and have seen much better than expected results there. So, as we said last quarter, we really still see a long runway for growth in ads. Now, secondly,
So basically what that translates to, for those unaware, is that means in normal human language versus tech language that they are trying to get you to accept ads on their mobile apps, as well as potentially adding ads to console and PC apps so that they can gain a profit from it. The consent rate is the opt-in rate with the International Data Protection Act they referred to. That's something that Microsoft had actually helped collaborate on a global scale. And as part of that, it includes the option as a consumer to opt into ads in certain avenues, including gaming. If you consent to it, that gives them a loophole.
Even following these changes on one particular platform. And the great growth we're seeing in player investment really actually enables us to invest in even more ROI positive marketing.
ROI meaning return on investment. Essentially what's happening is they're testing it out in the mobile marketplace, with most likely with COD Mobile and their other mobile games, including with the recent launch in China. And as a result of that, they're seeing that it's profitable and it's providing a positive return on investment, because player investment means people are buying more microtransactions.
Operator, you can have the next question, please.
The next question is from Kunal Malda with Atlantic Equities. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for taking the question. So it sounds like Call of Duty Mobile has good momentum. Could you expand on your comments about its performance and the plans for further growth? And related to that, is there anything you can say on the recent China headlines and the potential for restrictions in that market?
Thanks, Kunal. It's Rob. I think we should probably break this up in two parts. Let me address the first part of your question on COD Mobile specifically, and then maybe I'll invite Armin or someone else to chime in on a more macro view on China and any potential restrictions there. On mobile, for us, we see three key opportunities kind of going forward, and I'd say those could be bucketed as geographic, operational, and strategic, and let me touch on each of those. On the geographic front for Call of Duty Mobile, we're seeing obviously great success in the U.S. and through Europe, and we're also continuing to optimize across those regions. But we're seeing also great growth in emerging markets such as Latin America, India, and Southeast Asia, and where we're focusing execution and investment for local players. And so that's something we think can still scale and help grow the business overall. On the operational side, Call of Duty Mobile is already a great game, and we see opportunity to make it even better. Our mobile team is continuing to do an incredible job of constantly improving the experience and adding content for players in the West. And the team just keeps getting better and better, which is a testament to their passion and commitment to the mobile community. And China is just another example there where the title itself is off to a strong start, but still has a lot of opportunity in front of it to be tailored and optimized for the local audience. And the team is also very focused on that as well. And then lastly is strategic, as we think about long term, where we see more compelling growth on the platform. And overall, I'd say we believe there's an opportunity to better connect mobile to the overall Call of Duty ecosystem, and we're aggressively hiring talent to help on this journey for us. We created our own internal mobile studio and are driving a major recruiting effort across Beanox and Activision Shanghai to support as well. And together, I think as Daniel already mentioned on the call, these teams are leading an unannounced new mobile project in the Call of Duty franchise, which we're very excited about. So as I think about the business, as we start to approach the 2-year anniversary of the launch in the West, we think there's a lot of both near-term and long-term opportunities on the platform for us, and to grow the audience and engage the audience on a broad basis. Armin, do you want to comment on the China piece?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. Kunal, thanks for the question again. With respect to your question on China, as you know, the rules and regulations in the country do change over time, and we have been working with our partners for many years now in this changing environment. So what we're doing currently is working with them and our local teams on the ground to assess this latest situation. Now, from a business perspective, China was less than 5% of our net bookings for us last year, And as you know,
I mean, yeah, China would be less than 5% of your total net bookings because China just started.
in the regulatory environment there. And of course, we aim to continue to do so going forward. So thanks again for your question.
Thanks, Kamal. Operator, we'll take one last question, please.
And that question is from Mario Liu with Barclays. Please go ahead.
Ooh, Barclay Bank. Here we go.
Great, thanks for taking the question. So just wanted to follow up on the question earlier on mobile advertising. A number of mobile gaming companies now have both a mobile gaming studio and an ad network, all under the same umbrella. So curious to hear your thoughts of the strategy and if it's something that King can potentially implement going forward. Thanks.
Thanks, Mario. And this is Daniel again. The good news is we're actually already vertically integrated, and we have our own in-house ads business that supports in-game advertising across our mobile games, across all of Activision Blizzard.
That was a good question for awareness.
The ads team have organically built our own advertising technology platform, and this is really made to enable both the demand and the supply management, which also leverages third-party technology wherever it may make sense. This approach has actually served us really well, and it's enabled us to differentiate versus others in the industry through a much higher quality player experience, both in terms of ad formats and also how seamlessly ads are integrated into our games. And the other thing is just the opportunity to be involved in such a premium experience for the player has actually been very well received by our brand advertisers. We have both advertisers and players who are benefiting from the experience. And I'd say that this goes beyond just King. As we launch more mobile experiences, as Alan talked about earlier, and across the company, we're continuing to invest in our technology platform, and that's just to make sure that we have the capabilities to power ad monetization and cross-promotional activities across our mobile titles. So I feel we're in a great position. Having built these capabilities internally, and of course, longer term, we have a great deal of optionality in terms of where we can take the platform. And that's why we continue to invest in this area, which is critical to our business. Thanks for your question.
And thanks all again for joining us today and your interest and participation. We look all forward to catching up with you in the coming weeks. Thanks.
The conference is now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation.
Wow, they ended that quick. Wow, they're out. What, did PR notice that I was tweeting exactly what they're fucking saying or something? Jesus. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Activision financial Q... Excuse me. Actibliz. Would you kindly fuck off? Thank you. That was probably the loudest hold music I've ever heard in my life. Great timing. So, few things we learned about this. Thing number one, and they definitely tried not to put a whole lot of attention on it, but I'm not gonna lie, I super cackled. They opened this call literally acknowledging that the financial protest concept is working and it is hitting their bottom line. It's also drawing awareness because we're sharing the stories of victims in tandem with the staff and victims of Activision Blizzard. The exact statement, I do have to scroll up in chat here for a second because, oh my god, I cannot believe I actually fucking heard that live. The verbiage they used was they were going to discuss activist stances on stock-based confrontation. Now, what that translates to in layman's terms is a financial protest, because the way this is designed, the way this is meant to work, is that they have a loss margin going out. They're still having to pay for all their shit, but their biggest sources of revenue aren't giving them money, which in turn makes their stock prices go down, which in turn does actually result in shareholders and investors going, hey, what the hell's going on here, guys? The other part of this is that they didn't really give a solid answer. Neither Mike Ibarra or Jen O'Neill. I think the closest we got was when Jen said if we make the developers and employees feel safe, then the productivity will come in with it. The very last question actually did highlight a lot of things about how Activision Blizzard have things financially set up. We did learn today that their biggest moneymakers, their biggest cash cows, include COD Mobile, which just released in China, and they have it on track to be their cash cow this year. Candy Crush, which also, between microtransactions and ad revenue, is the highest grossing game in the app stores in North America. And also that Black Ops and Modern Warfare integration has produced a lot of microtransaction dollar signs. So with that, in-game player investment remaining strong, lower year over year, that benefited from the launch of Warzone. In-game player investment means people buying microtransactions. It's just a fancy fucking corporate phrasing of it. People are buying microtransactions, people are buying skins, people are buying battle passes, so on and so forth. So they're getting money out of it. Then they are saying that it's actually 4 times the level of the previous year, and that they're hard at work on the next premium COD release, as well as extensive live operations schedule for in-game bookings. In-game bookings, yet another way to say microtransactions. Premium, that means pay to play, not free to play. They also did explain to people very blatantly, in terms that the average player isn't going to comprehend, that they do have a plan to implement microtransactions and potentially ads in Diablo, that they plan to implement microtransactions in the Diablo mobile release, that they plan to add to the roadmap for Warzone more quote-unquote premium content and integration with the new COD game coming out. COD Mobile right now, they're saying that it's on track to exceed 1 billion this year. They're also using a technique called guerrilla marketing, and what that is that's word of mouth marketing, or as they like to phrase it, social gameplay. So essentially what that means for you as a player is that your friend decides, hey, this marketing appealed to me because it's pretty and shiny and it's got cool shit on it, so I'm gonna buy it. And then you see that your friend has it and you ask them about it because you want it. They're not having to spend any money on advertising it because your friend's telling you about it. You go buy it. That is a zero cost to them as a company, with a pure profit at that point. Activision Shanghai and China are working on new COD Mobile developments. There is an 18-month content release plan for World of Warcraft that they're estimating is going to bring in, at the very minimum, $26 million. That they're also saying World of Warcraft grew year over year in second quarter due to the June launch of Burning Crusade and the updates that released, encouraging returning subscribers, past subscribers. They're playing on the nostalgia factor with this as well. There's actually a lot of psychological marketing going on in Blizzard's setup and Activision's setup for how they're monetizing these games for people. They're saying subscription numbers increased due to deep engagement, the Shadowlands launch, and first major content update. They are expecting the engagement, aka microtransactions and subscriptions, to surpass Hearthstone net bookings. Again, net bookings meaning microtransactions are growing with the new expansion drop and the Stormwind update going today, I believe they said. For the second half of the year, they're going to be targeting new Warcraft mobile behavior. They're saying that they have added hundreds of devs for Diablo. They're launching 3 different experience platforms. Experiences meaning like different types of games. So D2 Remaster for PC and console, Diablo Immortal is proceeding and getting great feedback, as well as substantial monetization potential for the launch. And Diablo 4, the interesting thing that came to light during this Diablo 4 discussion being that they are looking at ways that they can actually turn that into a microtransaction monetization system too. My best guess, being a Diablo player, is it's going to have something to do with auction houses and gear, as well as like event bonuses, kind of like how you see in ESO with loot crates. Similar concept. Again, I don't know for sure. This is just speculation from my point based on what I was hearing. They're trying to make more engaging, aka microtransactable experiences for audiences. They expect a greater contribution next year and beyond for the Diablo franchise, which means whether we like it or not as players, they're planning on figuring out a way to monetize Diablo, be it via ads or microtransactions, or even, hell, for all we know, they may require subscriptions. We do know for mobile games, the easiest sources are ad revenue and microtransactions because people are impatient. They have already added stuff to increase engagement over multiple years into the roadmap that did not previously exist. So they're definitely going for people's pockets to line their own pockets while ignoring the way they treat their staff. The Overwatch update was pretty cut and dry. There's Overwatch 2 stuff going on. They're working on it. TLDR, the end. King actually delivered double-digit microtransaction growth, and the microtransactions alone totaled more than $255 million for Activision Blizzard King. Like I said before, it's the highest grossing per player in U.S. app stores. They are planning on implementing tie-ins or crossovers, kind of like what Fortnite does, in Candy Crush with other Activision Blizzard titles, which means there might be something like, hey, we're tying in Call of Duty, or we're tying in Diablo, stuff like that, to try and get players onto Candy Crush, because the one thing with Candy Crush is, if you actually look at the theory and the psychological stance behind it, it is something that, for a good long time there was a lot of investigation into it being considered an addictive game because it's something very simple. For people, it's a time suck game, and as a result, because it's a time suck game and we are impatient people, we tend to drop money without even thinking about it, same way kids do Fortnite skins and shit. That's gross. I'm not gonna get into the logistics of that because that's fucking gross. They did also double their ad revenue year over year via King and mobile games. They're saying Q2 is another strong quarter. They also did mention during that portion of the meeting that they are actually monitoring the accounts of people who are speaking out against them, as well as employees speaking out, and keeping a close eye to ensure no adverse productivity, and that if there is an extended period of adverse publicity, it could cause a problem that they will then have to react to. If you could not get more slap in the face, straight up, right there in front of you, that this method of protest works, that is it right there, directly from the horse's mouth. That is them saying to their shareholders that we are such a problem because we're actively making the situations and the shit that they've done to their employees public knowledge, and we're refusing to give them money until changes are made. They're that worried about us saying, no, fuck you, fix it. They said they are carefully monitoring these accounts for risk of business and financial impact. So, let me translate that to you. And to preface a little bit, because I've experienced some social media wars with companies, I'm not going to get super into the details of it. I will say, like, even when I was joining this call, I didn't use my personal information. Because right now, anything we're entering as a user, especially with a financial call like that, I'm pretty sure they're tracking those. Like, it would be a little bit ignorant to assume anything else with the fact that, you know, we have Activision PR managers and, like, following random supporters, and we have their chief communications officer blocking people who never even worked at the company but are just speaking up in favor of these employees. Basically, the quick rundown of that is they're saying they're watching those activists and employees who are trying to speak out so that they can protect the bottom dollar by figuring out ways to silence those voices, and that their whole goal is to focus, the underlying tone across that entire meeting is they're trying to focus on the hype of COD Mobile and Warzone and Candy Crush and all these new things that they're releasing. They're relying on that to get the hype going, get the momentum going, to try and bury what people are saying, because at this point they can't say anything publicly that is going to not be evaluated under a microscope. They did have a 15% increase of dividends to 47 cents a share. They are also expecting $1.85 billion with a B in microtransaction sales just this upcoming quarter alone. Those are expected to come from Call of Duty Mobile, Warzone, Candy Crush, and Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is interesting because I don't remember Diablo 2 ever having microtransactions, unless it was the Real Money Auction House, which was pretty much short-lived, sadly. 135 billion in total microtransactions. The one thing I couldn't tell is if that was what they're expecting in addition or if that's currently what they're at. They're looking to make an equitable, safe work environment, which is corporate code for a environment that makes money and is safe for you as an investor, you as a shareholder, you as the person with the golden parachute. That's not safe for the employee. They're still focused on the money. They did say that they are monitoring the impact of this adverse PR and that they have a strong lineup planned for the second half of 2021 as they look into 2022. They're planning for several new titles across PC, console, and mobile, including COD, Candy Crush, and Warcraft. The next thing was Jeffries. I'm not sure who Jeffries is, but Jeffries brought up a amazing question saying, how are Mike and Jen going to rebuild morale? We like the color that you guys are putting around these responses, which basically means, like, we like that you're fluffing it up and making it sound pretty, but what the hell are you actually doing to change it? Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of hope from either of the two new leaders in that moment, because there was no direct action plan. The closest we got was when Jen said, make them feel safe, and the productivity and everything will come with it. But that wasn't until the very, very end. Like, there was no clear-cut, clear definition of what's being done to right the ship. Then the last one was, I believe, Barclay Bank brought it up and asked a question that's actually very helpful to anyone involved in the financial protest movement. Now, here's the fun thing that he brought up. So, with a lot of companies having under the same umbrella both a ad revenue line as well as the gaming line, when are you guys planning to integrate that? And Activision Blizzard couldn't help but fucking brag. They shared on that call with us, all of us listening, that they do in fact make profit off of all of their ads because it is a vertically integrated system, meaning Activision Blizzard owns the ads that are run on these apps that they make the profit on. They are actually having companies pay them to put the ads in these games because of the widespread reach. So, I will say this right now, and I understand there's a lot of mobile gamers out there. I get it. And this is hard for me to even vocally say because I understand the hard work that these mobile devs are putting into these games. But if there are two games right now that are the biggest cash cow, that are the easiest to say, hey, I'm not going to have anything to do with these games whatsoever. If you're on that uninstalled bandwagon, don't do COD Mobile. Don't do Candy Crush. Because outside of that, that's what they're looking at right now to make up for the lost revenue in the console and PC gaming segments. They're looking to those mobile avenues. And with that game having just released as a new game in China, there's going to be millions of users playing it. It would be ignorant to think otherwise. But, like, these are the areas that we need to keep targeting. The financial protest is actually working. The other thing that I find really, really interesting about all this that was going down while this financial call was going on is that one of their main HR people actually just stepped out too. The Activision Blizzard global head of human resources resigned during that meeting. Now, the interesting part about that And the thing that I find so damn funny about this is, like, these guys, I have no words. And the employees are in agreement. Like, the employees have been listening to the call. I did, as soon as I got the information, I did share it if they weren't aware already so that they had access to it. The uniform idea right now is that they've decided that words don't matter. They're getting people out with a quick golden parachute or a quick scapegoat to try and put on the smiley face, hey, look, everything's better now. They're relying on shutting us up. The more we keep this going, the better off we are. Because right now they're scrambling, they're trying everything. They openly admitted to watching accounts. Like, that to me is insane. What company openly admits on a financial call that they are watching accounts of players who are in support, of employees? That's some shady shit, guys. And, like, if anyone disagrees, please let me know. But, like, there's a level. And that tells me that you are absolutely guilty and you know you fucked up if you're that worried about what people are saying. Also, the recent trend going on right now is that ABK employees are going through and announcing that they are rejecting the WilmerHale review of Activision Blizzard. It looks like WilmerHale is trying to go through, and they are in the process of trying to... Yeah, no, actually, I'm just reading this tweet right now that says some person in the Activision Blizzard QA rolling up and saying, nice quarter, guys, with a straight face. Like, that's the thing. The money's what matters to them right now, not the people. And we need to keep pushing. We cannot throw in the towel on this right now. This is more important than ever, in fact. Like, my mind is still blown. Like, how are you going to have a financial quarter review directly straight up lie and provide contradictory evidence to this information that you provide in documents for your shareholders, say that there was absolutely no change year over year during shutdowns, COVID, so on and so forth, when the statistics are there, and they're not just there for your company, they're there globally. I'd be like, yeah, no, it's about the same as it always is. Like, either you can't read your own financial reports or you don't know what you're talking about and should not be in that position. That's simple. Or you're lying and you should not be in that position because it's a position of trust. Koi, do you have anything to say? I've been ranting. Oh, also, so, like, while this was going on, the Activision Blizzard employees did release their official statement on why they reject WilmerHale's review of Activision Blizzard. Ironically, like, as it's hitting the media channels that are supporting it, I feel like a lot of this timing is really interesting, right? Because initially the news we got yesterday was that this was going to be leaked at 3:30, like it was going to be coming live at 3:30, and then it was 4:30. Like you said, Koi, that could just be they can't math. Who knows? But what I find the most interesting is, like, they opened up with that statement about the activist risk to the bottom dollar, and that as it's hitting the news with the ABK employee collective of their rejection of that outside law firm where good old Bobby Kotick, ladies and gentlemen, encouraged all employees to contact them for a confidential third party. HR experience talking, rule number 1, you do not do that with a union busting firm because, like I said, I suspected prior when we were talking, and it was me, Koi, and Z here, one of those first nights that we started talking about Squad Up for Equality. That's the best way to get snitched on. because they're either going to use it for some type of legal evidence in their defense against you, or, just anything where you picture the word confidential and like outside law firm hired by company, it doesn't mesh. It does not mesh. I will also say, for anyone watching who is a ABK employee, Ubisoft employee, Riot Games employee, I have been, when I can, signal boosting the game dev unions and the games worker and games employee unions that have been reaching out to provide confidential resources and communication. So that way you guys do have someone to talk to in the event you're interested in unionizing at your local area. At this point, with the shit that I'm seeing, I'm in support of all the other people that are encouraging y'all to do it, because this is wild. Like, I thought I'd seen some corporate skullduggery, but this is impressive. So, that meeting happened to run over. Same time news is hitting, right? Nice deflections going on, all that good stuff. Let's go over what the Activision employee, ABK Collective, I believe is what it's called, response is in the rejection of WilmerHale's review of Activision Blizzard. We reject the selection of WilmerHale for the following reasons. WilmerHale's pre-existing relationships with Activision Blizzard and its executives create an unacceptable conflict of interest. Activision Blizzard has already been a client of WilmerHale, who you used to dispute the diverse candidate search policy proposed by the AFL-CIO Reserve Fund and UAW Retiree Medical Benefits Trust earlier in 2021. Francis Townsend is known to have relationships with multiple partners at WilmerHale, including, are you guys ready for this fucking bombshell? I didn't know this, but my jaw just hit the fucking floor. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller is part of WilmerHale, ladies and gentlemen. That's neat. WilmerHale has a history of discouraging workers' rights and collective action. WilmerHale states on their public website that their services include advising on union awareness and avoidance. Yeah, that's really who I want in charge of, like, my safety and security and making sure I'm treated as a human being, right? WilmerHale used anti-collective action tactics in their work with both Amazon and Uber. So now we have learned that all of the anti-union movement that was taking place for Amazon and Uber was property of WilmerHale. Slap a sticker on it. In media portrayals, WilmerHale is regularly referred to as a union-busting firm. We're already seeing the effects of this ideology and actions that leadership has taken to restrict our freedom of association since last week, including reducing the size of listening sessions and limiting access to those sessions. Huh. Weird. The WilmerHale partner leading this investigation, Stephanie Avakian, hey, Stephanie, my girl, specializes in protecting the wealthy and powerful. WilmerHale outlined Avakian's work as counseling and defending financial institutions, public and private companies, hedge funds, accounting firms, investment advisors, boards, corporate executives, and individuals facing regulatory and criminal investigations and litigation with government. Almost like Stephanie is the lawyer directly responsible for the case that California is presenting against Activision Blizzard. Weird. In Stephanie's speech highlighting her successes with the SEC, which is the Security Exchange Commission for those who don't know, which translates to stocks. Good old stonks. All her significant examples included achievements in favor of investors, retail clients, and customers, but did not once mention employees or laborers. We need legal representation that centers on concern of current employees rather than those investors. So it sounds like there were quite a few bombshells in that report that was, overlapped with that Q2 financial report. That being said, I will actively encourage anyone who's tuning in to make sure that they signal boost that rejection from those employees so that people are aware. Because at this point it looks like they are trying any PR scheme they can, including diversionary tactics. I will say, had I not been watching Twitter while this was going on, I probably would not have even known that these things occurred at the same time. And I would have been too busy being focused on the outrage of the shit that I heard in that financial call. So good on them. You guys, your PR team did a really good job of diversionary tactics, and I will applaud you on that from a corporate perspective. Because, like, A-game. Y'all are bringing the A-game. However, the more people know, this is the whole point behind spreading awareness, using those hashtags, raising those voices. Because every person who's looking right now, any person who's watching right now or knows someone who's watching right now is going to be aware of that information. And fun fact about guerrilla marketing, I'll go so ballsy as to say Activision PR, maybe you should take note. For every one person who shares a piece of information, if it's positive, it's usually a 1-to-1 ratio. If it's negative, it's usually between 1 to 2 up to a 1 to 10 ratio, statistically speaking. That said, guys, keep on keeping on. Keep speaking up. Keep speaking out. Keep signal boosting. Hold the damn line. Do not engage in any microtransactions. Do not engage in subscriptions if you're able to avoid it. I understand if you're someone who has certain mental health scenarios or like your friends and stuff because you're isolated. I get that. And I'm not going to demonize you for that because that's not your fault. Because the victims and the employees there worked really hard to give you guys a place to call home. I will also thank every single content creator, esports player, competitive gamer, just average Joe out there who is helping raise awareness on this, speak up on this, and sharing the information and teaching people, or simply just asking questions on what they can do to help. If you are not already, if you're on Twitter, please go follow the account at ABK. That is the Activision Blizzard King employee collective. Also, make sure that you're paying attention to the hashtag Squad Up for Equality, a better ABK. Hold them accountable, hold Ubisoft accountable, and Riot Games as well, because there's a whole lot of shit going on right now. And Activision was right about a single thing in that financial meeting, and that is they will be made the example of what not to do in the industry. We're already off to a great start. We have, in the span of a week, helped these employees raise their voices and been such vocal supporters and activists for them that we hit their financial call not just once but twice as a threat. You may say, oh, I'm just one person, I'm not going to do anything. I will reiterate the breakdown like this again. One person not buying that new soap bundle that just dropped, and oh yeah, they just dropped a soap bundle with a new SMG. Surprise. One person not buying that $20 bundle is $20. 10 people, bam, 200 off. 100 people. Like, think about it. Money doesn't lie. It's simple math. I personally, and I'm pretty sure all of Thunderdome Squad is with me in saying this, be it our community, our creators, and even our players, are more than thrilled to say, listen, Poppy Activision, I got enough microtransactions in Warframe, I got enough subscriptions in ESO and other shit, like, you're doing me a favor by helping my bank account the longer you play this shit. Please keep it up. Who knows, guys, by the time this is done, we all might have our own house, and we're fucking millennials, so God only knows that's a hell of a job. But we will not be backing down until true change is made. When we say squad up for equality, we don't mean squad up for a pretty PR statement about equality. We mean do the right thing. It's your responsibility as a business, especially a business where people turn to you in times of hardship to bond. T-Mobile has already pulled sponsorships from you. We're not backing down. We will not be making aggression. We will not be making threats. We will not be sending CS strongly worded tickets. But we will keep our wallets nice and tight where you're involved. I will not, as a diehard Diablo fan, be even contemplating any pre-orders of Diablo. I will not, no matter how shitty and non-meta pay-to-win Warzone wants to be in our lobbies, be making a single microtransaction or battle pass purchase until you fix this. You can throw whatever you want to throw at us, but at the end of the day, you guys really want to say you don't got competition for COD? Battlefield already has a better marketing plan than you guys have for Vanguard. And it just really came to light a few weeks ago. This is going to be one of the most competitive shooter years when you think about the fact of Halo Infinite, Battlefield. All the old blood titles are coming back. And you guys really want to think that we have competition every year. No, you don't have competition like this. And let me break it down to you guys real quick. The longer you keep this going, and the more people know about the ability to financial protest and how it actually works, the harder it's gonna be to just sit there and pretend like absolutely nothing's wrong while all of your employees are screaming that change needs to occur. Money is not more important than human rights. Money is not more important than fair treatment. It doesn't matter who a human being is. There's not a single person who should ever have to walk into their job and worry about jack shit beyond doing their job. A lot of fans have turned a blind eye over the years, but at this point, enough is enough. And there's a lot of people now with the information about Ubisoft coming to light more thoroughly and the information about Riot's disturbing shit coming to light more thoroughly, who are quickly starting to realize this isn't just Activision. This is an industry-wide issue. There's no such thing as getting to run away from it, cover our eyes, and hope it goes away. I will also more than happily, because I know there's a lot of communities out there, and I know a few of you are probably going to get real pissy with what I'm about to say, and for that, you know what, I love you guys. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. But if you are an esports org, if you are a streaming community, if you are a content creator in any way, shape, or form, you should be here with us. What's the excuse? That it's uncomfortable? That it's got triggering topics? You don't get to say it's got triggering topics as an excuse to shy away. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure a lot of the shit that we're discussing is triggering for every single person on my competitive team and in my community. Hell, it's triggering for me. But we're still talking about it. So what's your excuse? Popularity? People may not like you? Is that what we're worried about? Or are we taking the I'm gonna leave because there's no anti-hack in Warzone approach? Where we thinly veil that we're leaving, but we don't talk about the why. If any content creator, any community, any esports org can actually give me a valid reason about why an anti-cheat is more important than human rights in the workplace, why the game's buggy is more important than human rights in the workplace. Why I'm gonna uninstall and just not say anything because I'm supporting the equality movement is more important than speaking up in support of your fellow human beings. I'll welcome it. But until you can do that with actual backing and truly believing it, you're just as responsible as TDS. You have a responsibility to your viewers. You have a responsibility to your younger player bases. You have a responsibility to the people that look up to you every day that you inspire. To make sure that this shit isn't happening. We ignored when there was a bunch of sexual harassment at TwitchCon though, right? That was cool. We ignored it at BlizzCon. We weren't worried about cosplay is not consent, right? Because it didn't directly impact us. You're so worried about popularity that you forget what it's like to be actual human beings for a second. And at the end of the day, as far as Thunderdome's concerned, we could all lose our fucking dream tonight because of our stance on this. But you know, the one thing we haven't lost? The knowledge of knowing that we're doing the right thing. Inaction is inaction. And for those people who are supporting the movement, I encourage each and every one of you, look around. See who's not saying something. See who's not speaking up. See who's not elevating the voices of those victims. See who's not sharing the news because it's too scary or it's too horrible to read or it's too painful. We have creators who survived assault speaking up on this. We have creators who have survived abuse speaking up on this. But if you have a nice, comfortable lifestyle where you haven't experienced that, the trendy thing is to just not acknowledge it, right? But I mean, I guess that would be viewed in the words of Activision Blizzard's senior leadership, based on what I just said, as over-emotional and unproductive. So I challenge you guys, though. If you play Overwatch, if you play Valorant, if you play League of Legends, Wild Rift, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six Siege, Assassin's Creed. List goes on and on. World of Warcraft, you know. All those out there. Take a peek. Read through the stories. Read through the shit that's been happening. And really, really sit back as community leadership, as content creators, and say to yourselves, could I look a family member or a loved one in the face who went through that and say to them my reasons for not participating in this? Because if the answer is no, you're probably indirectly contributing to the same problem by keeping your mouth shut. Hate to break it to you guys. Koi, anything you want to add? Slight tangent, OP. That's fine. Like, I know what, like I said, like, I'm not trying to demonize people, but I'm just trying to make people, like, really see, like, the level of significance that this has. Like, God forbid, you know, like, Koi, you're a parent. I'm sure your kid has watched some streamers here and there, right? Like the child-friendly ones? Or like YouTubers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, as a parent, like, how would it feel for you, like, if these creators that he's looking up to were involved in something like that?
I mean, it's one of those, anyone that's involved in things like this, they shouldn't have the luxury of continuing what they're doing without change.
Your audio is included, right?
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
Yes,
okay, cool.
it is.
We forget, I'm sorry!
Yeah, it's one of those, stuff like this needs to change. You can't sit around and just ignore it for the rest of your life because that's what you've been told to do in the past. Like, doing that, nothing will change. It'll always be a terrible place. Because people and companies can get away with whatever they want if we just continue to ignore it. That's
And,
why
like,
we're
that's
at the point of getting the like microtransactions that they're talking about in the meeting. We sat around and ignored it, and now they're pushing further to get more money out of us.
Because we let it happen.
Yes.
Like, the active word that they used, and this was the irony of this word is not lost on me. Player consent. User consent.
Yeah, because no one reads the fine print of anything. They just accept that, okay, if I accept this, I can play the game I want to play. I can go and, just ignore all these extra ads and everything else that are impeding on my gameplay. I can just ignore them just so I could play a couple more minutes of my game.
Yeah, like, real talk, I mean, I've done it, and I'm sure, I don't know if you've done it or not, but I know Z plays mobile games, she's probably done the same, where it's like, watch this ad to get free gems, and you just turn the ad on and walk off.
It's one of those, me personally, no, but at the same time, some of the free-to-play games, like one of our favorite ones, and it's understandable why they have that monetization, because it's free to play, is Warframe. I've bought shit tons of platinum just to speed it up a hair bit.
Yep.
And it's one of those, I don't mind doing that for the company. It helps the company out. But at the same time, those kind of things, because we ignore them, they continue to this point. And it's just like with how they treat their employees. We ignore it, and they can get away with it. And they'll keep pushing the line until we push back. That's where we're at. We're finally pushing back.
And now it's, oh god, we need to watch these accounts, guys. Like, God forbid, the bottom dollar might get impacted, huh? But, like, you brought up Warframe, and Warframe has a really good point with that. The difference between a company that responsibly sets up microtransactions versus being in it for the money, I think Warframe's a pretty sound example of it, right?
Yeah, you can literally do anything you want in Warframe and never have to spend a penny on the game. Or you can be like me that throws money at anything I can, basically, and, enjoys the game at a faster rate. But I could still enjoy the game without ever spending money on it.
And the other cool part about that, too, is for people like you, they take that money and they put it right back into the development of that game to make sure, like, okay, you guys spent all this money, like, instead of having you stagnant at, like, an end point, like, here's 30 new things you can do. Like, they're constantly providing updates.
Yeah, instead of these, aggressive, predatory microtransactions that they're adding, where we don't have an option. Like, we have an opt-in button, which they're going to easily hide within the small terms of service writing, and it's going to be too late. You're going to, like, okay, cool, I just have to say yes to this, and then I can play my game.
Yeah, I mean, most opt-ins, Like, even on PC, like, they're auto-checked by default, and, like, they rely on people not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, shit, Warzone, like, we always joke about Warzone, but, like, Warzone's a great example of those predatory tactics. Where, like, how many guns have we seen that just come out with a blueprint that you can buy that are super broken?
We have a joke in our team that I buy the gun to unlock the gun. Like, they give you one of the best setups to buy right off the bat. Like, as soon as the gun's released, you can get the best version of it. Like, that's a very active thing they do. Like, as you pointed out earlier, with the soap bundle that they released today, that SMG hasn't been in the game yet. That's a brand new SMG for Modern Warfare. That bundle, from what I've been hearing about, everyone's been waiting for a very long time for it. And they just so happened to release it today, when they're doing their meeting about their profits and everything.
I think my favorite part about all of it is, like, after hearing, like, Z's discussion about soap, as an example, and, like, the nostalgic significance of the character to Call of Duty fans.
Yeah.
Combined with a brand new SMG for Modern Warfare, of all things. Not for Black Ops, for Modern Warfare. Like, how much more manipulative, predatory tactics can you as a business use? You're playing on that nostalgia factor. You're literally demonstrating your pay-to-win mentality for the player base. Like, that's fucking gross. And then you're gonna sit there and be like, it's $20, guys. Like, if they actually... And this is just my opinion. Again, I don't have an extensive COD background like you or Z. But I feel like if they actually gave a shit about the player base, Soap would be a character that you can unlock as a general player in some way, shape, or form that is reasonably accomplished without dropping that $20 on that bundle.
I mean, we're even seeing with the new Call of Duty's zombie characters. Weaver just came out. Maxis now has 3 skins. Like, these are main staple characters in the new zombie story. And you have to spend anywhere from $15 to $20 for them.
Each.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the other thing that blows my mind is just the whole, like, anti-cheat movement that's just completely ignoring this. Like, I feel like maybe if employees were treated fairly, they might have time to think about anti-cheat programs. But what do I know? Like, I've seen so many people on social media that are just like, oh, I don't care because it doesn't affect me. Like, off the top of your head, Koi, how many games have the same predatory tactics that Call of Duty uses for microtransactions? Like, I can easily say Overwatch is reasonable, but there's times where Overwatch has dropped some where it's like, well, I guess I'm going to spend $20 on this skin today.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, a lot of companies aren't too bad about it, but there are some, like, there's jokes in the entire gaming community about them because it's so bad. And we ignore it and let it.
Games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, the microtransactions are predatory. They aren't doing a whole lot. Like, in the meeting, you even pointed out that they completely danced around several of the questions and never gave proper answers.
Like, Like, I literally didn't hear a single action item for what they're doing to make things better for employees.
Yeah, like, I don't remember hearing much about that either. But they were very clear to make sure that, to let everyone know that, you know, we're being watched now. Like you pointed out, they are absolutely watching us now. And at the same time, I don't blame them. Like, we're affecting their income, and we should continue that way. Because they aren't going to listen otherwise.
Shit, man. At this point, Aim High said one of the best statements about it. It's real easy for, like, people in that 18 to 25 gap to make a tweet. And, like, yeah, that's helpful and all. But at the same time, in that same group, if you're just throwing out whatever opinion you have without actually sharing the stories or sharing the information or sharing where people can go to participate, you're not really contributing to it. You're just burying what needs to be shown. Like, the real weight is going to end up going to those people who are young adults, middle-aged, older adults who have played a lot of these games for years, who are stock investors, who are shareholders. Like, these things enable us to empower those younger generations to help drive change. And we need everybody working together in the gaming community. If you're not an investor, if you are in that 18 to 25 gap that just is like making tweets and stuff, like, spread the word. Tell your parents, tell your family. Like, if you not have family members that are involved in stocks and investment opportunities and things, let them know what's going on. Because then that helps us, the people who, I'm going to cringe as I say this, are older. Shut up. Actually hit their wallets. Because they made it very clear today they could give two shits about your feelings. Like, even when directly challenged by an investor. I still think my favorite part of the whole thing was the guy in the securities division for ActiveBliz that asked about how they feel about the new Call of Duty, though. I think that was my highlight. That was just the, are you kidding me right now? Because, like, hard yikes. Super hard yikes. Also, the other fun fact that was buried during that was that they are actually getting sued by an investor. Charlie Intel just dropped a report. Call of Duty 2021 will deeply integrate with Call of Duty Warzone and feature new innovations across Warzone and COD 2021 title. You guys forgot the part about the microtransactions and quote-unquote premium content.
Like, I have whole other issues with what I've been hearing about the new game. But at this point, it doesn't even matter because I'm not going to be buying the new game.
I mean, I'll buy Battlefield.
Yeah, I'll absolutely be buying Battlefield and enjoying it.
I'll enjoy blowing up buildings.
But as far as it comes to a new Call of Duty title I keep hearing about, I'm good.
So, here's the other news that broke during that meeting, by the way. Shareholders sue Activision Blizzard for withholding harassment information. In a proposed class action lawsuit, Activision shareholders argue they were economically damaged by company executives withholding information and allegations that have recently come to light. The class action complaint, filed in California federal court by Rosen Law Firm, specifically names CEO Bobby Kotick, CFO Dennis Durkin, and former CFO Spencer Newman. Those executives and others were aware of or recklessly disregarded the fact that the false and misleading statements were being issued concerning the company, according to the complaint. To support that claim, the lawsuit cites multiple SEC filings ActiBliz made from mid-2016 onward. Those included boilerplate language regarding risks to business imposed by various legal matters. ActiBliz said such routine claims and lawsuits are not significant. We do not expect them to have a material adverse effect on our business, financial condition, results of operations, or liquidity. Does that sound familiar, guys? Because I feel like that's kind of how they opened this one. That line and similar ones in the filings hide the fact that ActiBliz fielded numerous complaints about unlawful harassment, discrimination, and retaliation made to HR personnel and executives which went unaddressed. Like, yo, they were literally even harassing human resources. What? Like, is this for real? The complaint goes on to suggest the pervasive culture of harassment, discrimination, and retaliation at the company would result in serious impairments to ActiBliz operations. The proposed suit says the company failed to tell shareholders it was under investigation by California DFEH, or that it was at greater risk of regulatory and legal scrutiny and enforcement based on undisclosed facts. This all led to ActiBliz share price that was artificially inflated, so quick stock lesson for those who are unfamiliar. Artificial inflation means basically like they're talking shit to make people think that they're doing better than they actually are. It means you're lying to make your stocks look good. Because if your stocks look good and you have some solid PR campaigns going out, people are going to buy. When people buy, that means your stock becomes more valuable because there's less available. It's basic supply and demand concepts. It's the best way I can think to give it an example is when hedge funds were trying to short stock in GameStop by liquidating mass quantities of stock so that the share price would drop. It's a very predatory tactic that is actually being investigated by a lot of government officials. So add that to the list of shitty business tactics they're using. This resulted in shareholders overpaying based on faulty information. Shareholders are entitled to monetary damage based on overpayment, the suit says. Activision Blizzard stock fell over 6% on July 27th, the day after lawsuit existence was publicly revealed. Hey, Coy, you remember that day? I remember that day. That was a pretty solid day. Since then, the stock has fallen an additional 5%, based on the Tuesday closing price of $79.83. So to put that in perspective for you guys, like when I first started posting share information, it was about $95 a share. $79.83 is what it closed at. That was today. I want everyone to sit down and think about that for a second. Today, this stock closed at $79.83. This morning, ActiBliz announced President J. Allen Brack is stepping down after nearly 16 years. This move comes after thousands of employees signed a petition decrying the company's initial response, and hundreds took part in a one-day walkout for equality last week demanding action. Eight days ago, Robbins LLP started investigating ActiBliz as well. that is a shareholder rights firm with concerns of certain directors misleading as well. So they're facing a lot of lawsuits and a lot of visibility because of the shit that's coming out about them. I will reiterate, we can't stop now. It's more important than ever to get those stories out and spread the word. Scott and Scott, attorneys at law, are also investigating them. This potential class action suit, Robbins Arroyo LLP, is also involved in investigation. It says investors who purchase shares of Activision Blizzard have certain options and should contact Shareholders Foundation at mail@shareholdersfoundation.com or 1-858-779-1554. Again, if you are a shareholder or investor for Activision Blizzard, one more time, that is mail@shareholdersfoundation.com or 1-858-779-1554. Or sorry, I take that back. I was incorrect. So this is from January 2019 when Bungie broke off. So that's not the right resource. And the interesting thing about this, Koi, that I think you'll enjoy, it looks like in 2014 they had a investor suit. In 2015 they had an investor suit. In 2019 they had an investor suit. And now they have another investor suit. Oh, in 2013 they were hit by a shareholder too. Activision Blizzard hit for security fraud by 3 law firms as of 3 hours ago. Shaw Law Firm, Bronstein, Guritz, and Grossman and Rosenlaw are filing lawsuits on behalf of Activision Blizzard shareholders, alleging company of security fraud. Ongoing controversies had material impact on shareholders, with ActiBliz stock falling to its lowest point in the last 6 months. So, once again, if y'all think financial protest doesn't work, their stock has dropped to the lowest point that it's been in 6 months. According to the complaint, company made false and misleading statements to the market. ActiBliz discriminated against both women and minorities employed by its organization. The company allowed a frat boy culture to thrive in its office. Numerous employee complaints of sexual harassment, retaliation, and other inappropriate activities were reported to human resources and executives, only to be ignored. The company failed to inform investors that it was under investigation by California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, DFEH, over allegations of sexual harassment and other discrimination. Based on these facts, the company's public statements were false and materially misleading throughout the class period. When the market learned the truth about Activision Blizzard, investors suffered significant damage. So, I mean, Koi, unless you got anything to add, I pretty much am ready to wrap this up and pass it on along.
No. I'm good.
Alright, do we have any community members online right now? And again, thank you guys so much for those who have tuned in. I know there wasn't any gameplay, obviously, given the circumstances of what's going on. I wanted to make sure that we were focusing on the call and the information surrounding it, as well as the updates that we do have available. If you are interested in finding out how you can help us out, go ahead, right down below the video, there is an option that you can click on that will take you into a Linktree, or as you can join us in Discord to chat. Everyone there is super cool, super friendly. You can interact with us, roast us, get roasted by us, whatever you fancy. It is also a safe place for everyone to just be yourselves. We have designated mental health rooms where if you need to just get something off your chest, you can use that there. And we do our best to make sure that everyone in there is protected and respected. Yeah.
Rage on.
Alright, so with that being said, I am going to go ahead and pass this off to the one, the only, the sassiest hot tub streamer that has ever existed on Twitch. The man himself, the myth, the legend, that will be a Rage Quit now. He is currently playing some Call of Duty. He is the one who was our announcer for the Club Kiwi Rage Zone $3,000 Anzac Day tournament. One of my awesome friends. Go ahead, show him some love, guys. Show him some support. He definitely deserves it. Him and his wife have been super helpful to us, and I encourage all of you guys to kind of share the love, share the wealth, and I will catch you guys next time we go live.